We're just 18 kilometres outside the city of Budapest here in Hungary, where today's Formula One race is about to take place. It's the Hungarian Grand Prix. Located 12 miles northeast of the Hungarian capital Budapest, the 14 corners of the Hungaroring are steeped in history and prestige. Overtaking's always been difficult on this technical 2.7-mile track, but the last few years in particular have turned up some exceptional races. So let's hope we're in for another one here today. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, edging out Lando Norris, who'll start from P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Verstappen, Russell, Fernando Alonso and Sainz, Gasly, Ocon, Leclerc and Nico Hülkenberg, Tsunoda, Albon, Andrea Kimi Antonelli and Hadjar, Bortoleto, Doohan, Ollie Behrman and Lance Stroll. Lawson and Oscar Piastri rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. And joining me in the commentary box this afternoon, the First Lady of World Motorsports, Naomi Schiff. Now, you're the racing driver in this partnership, so tell us about this racing driver. Put us in their shoes. How are they going to be feeling?
It's a very special time for the drivers. It's almost like everything around you slows down and you become hyper-aware. So your nerves slightly go up, your adrenaline's going up. It's the perfect time to start focusing on your visualizations and preparing for the race. So you want to avoid distractions and really stay cool, calm, and focused.
OK, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross onto the track.
Well, I don't know about you, but I've absolutely loved watching that action today, and I'm sure these three have loved taking part. Here come our podium finishers. One of the all-time greats celebrates yet again. It's another podium, it's another top step for Max Verstappen.